What is up, YouTube? Ben Reviews it here today, and today we have an amazing vehicle to review. Obviously, you can see it is a Ford Bronco. Now, this is a 2022 Ford Bronco BadLands Sasquatch Edition. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what comes with that? Well, this thing is loaded out, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love the color as well, and we're going to have to try to find the name badging for that color, but this has a 2.3-liter four-cylinder, which is absolutely insane to think that this big guy is running the smallest engine that it could, which is the four-cylinder. Now, they could have probably went with the 3, but I don't think it would have sufficed for this because this guy is pretty big, but that four-cylinder is going to do great, and they were able to maximize it the best that they could. So this comes with the 2.34, and it also comes with a 7-speed manual transmission. Yes, a 2022 was created with a 7-speed manual, which is crazy to think that a 4-cylinder has a 7-speed stuck to it, because 10 years ago it would have been a 4 or 5-speed. But it's absolutely amazing to see that it hit 7 right there. Now, this vehicle is quite long and quite wide, so I'm going to give you guys the specs on that real fast. The wheelbase is 100.4 inches long from the tip of the nose to the back of the butt, which is absolutely crazy to think. And then with the mirrors, the width is 86.2. Without the mirrors, I believe it is 75.3, and then the height is 71.9. So I'm about 6'5" and a half, and this is absolutely insane. 6.5 feet tall, and my head is pretty much where the roof is. Now for power, and this is what's crazy, and I was driving over here because this gentleman's letting me do the review on his vehicle, and I was thinking about the power that this has for a 4-cylinder is absolutely insane. 300 horsepower at 5,700 RPMs. The torque is 325 pounds at 3,400 RPMs. Now this is an inline 4, guys, a 2.3 inline 4. So to think about that, and I'm going to show you guys the engine. I mean, think about that. My car that I currently have is a 2005 Lincoln Town Car, 132 horsepower, foot-pound of torque, I don't even know, and it's a 4.6 V8. This is a inline 4, and it's making 300 horsepower. So to think about that and put that into perspective, that's how far we've come mechanically and technologically with these vehicles. Now, I will say one thing that I do not like so much about the Ford Bronco is looking over the engine bay. There seems to be a lot of wiring going on, and it's kind of like all over the place, which this is actually all factory. He has not done any additional things to this vehicle, so you do have some exposed wires over there coming off of certain harnesses, and then kind of it's a cluster all over the place, which not too bad, but you know, it could get very confusing if you're trying to do this yourself, and maybe that's why Ford did that, because we know a lot of people are kind of getting out of doing stuff themselves and they're having shops do it, but that's perfectly fine. So now we're going to go around the car. I'm going to show you guys every emblem and everything like that. So in the beginning, in the front, we have the camera. This has 360 view, and right here between the O and the end, you have a camera. Very nice grille. I like the elongated ovals. It looks decent, especially with the lights, and I kind of like the lights. I mean, this kind of reminds me of like a power on symbol, but at the same time, it's just something about them, and they're very bright. The gentleman was driving it down here in this position, and it was insane to see how bright they were even during the day. These are LEDs, most certainly, with how bright they are. And what's crazy too with the Sasquatch edition that this has with the 7-speed manual transmission, we have LED fogs down there. He might have done those aftermarket. Actually, I think they might come with the vehicle. You got a winch, and you got tow hooks right in the front, so you don't have to worry about hurting anything. We also have parking sensors in the front. If you guys see that, those little circles there are parking sensors. So those right there will let me know if I'm too close to something in the front, which is really nice. You don't want to hit anything, and you have 4 of those on the front. So coming to the passenger side, it's crazy because this right here has a load requirement of 150 pounds. So nothing over 150. So maybe you're pulling something and you want to use the tow hooks and have some extra leverage on it as you pull it. You can use those up there, which is kind of insane that the Ford Bronco has that. On the passenger side, we have the BadLands Sasquatch badging, because this is the BadLands series and the Sasquatch outfit for it. But stepping back, this car is, it's crazy. It's honestly way better than what I thought it was going to be. And when coming here, you know, I thought it wasn't going to look half as good as the old ones. But honestly, it's growing on me right now. You have these very beautiful lights in the back. And then you also have that center wheel mount. So if you have a spare, this is a full-size tire, which is really nice as well. You can see how brand new it is, never used. And this has very low miles, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But we have trailer hitch hookup. We also have your tow hooks in the back as well. So if you need to grab it from the back, you can. Those are built into the frame. And what's really nice though is that tire is the same as every other tire. So it's the 17-inch bead lock. It looks exactly the same. You're not going to have any issues. You put that one on, take the flat off, you're perfectly fine. Now what I think is really cool is Ford still kept that old emblem right there. Make sure you know it's a Ford product. And then what's crazy too is they had to keep it up with code. So right above that tire, it fits perfectly, honestly, because right there that tire hides kind of a third brake light, and then right in the middle of this there's another camera for that 360 and that rear, which is really nice. So now I'm going to open this before we go to the driver's side, because I want to show you guys something which I thought was crazy. Now you got to open this all the way up, and then there should be, yep. So that is the Bronco. This is, I believe, a one-way system. So you can't, you know, pull it down and have a tailgate kind of. More so, this is just out and up for the glass area, which really opens this up. And what's insane is this gentleman, you know, has taken care of this really, really well. Just the interior is immaculate. And you have this WeatherTech mat, and underneath you have your tie downs down here. And then you also have a jack. Ford still kept the jack situation, and I think every car should do that. They come with their own jack in case of an emergency. Like I said, you have the tie downs here, and then over here as well, because there's an object over there. We're going to go to this one. So you can tie something down here in the back cargo area. And these seats also come down, and I'll show you guys in a second. He even has the books for the Bronco Sport, which is insane, in the car still. And what's really nice is back here is for your winch. So you want to hook it up, you have your controls right here. And this is all, this is all like brand new, pretty much. I mean, he hasn't really driven it that much. You can see that he's had some stuff in here, but it's absolutely beautiful. You have a 12 volt back here. You have lights back here, which is insane. So during the nighttime, those LEDs should go ahead and, you know, brighten everything up. Now, what's really cool though is this glass piece. You push down, and then you can pull stuff out. So if you don't want to open the thing all the way, there's also a little wiper on the back. And then to close this, it's that simple. And that sounds like a truck door closing, which is cool because it doesn't sound like a trunk, it sounds like a truck door, which honestly has different sounds. But to know that that is so heavy and so well built that it sounds like that, that guarantees quality. Now, another cool feature that I love about this car is the fact that it has a lock symbol right here, and you just press that in and it'll lock that door, and then you're going to have to use the keys to unlock it. Now, coming over to the driver's side, I apologize, I'm just catching up. Coming over to the driver's side, you have your gas door, and then you have the driver's side, which the driver's side comes with that well-known Ford keypad, so you can put a code in there. If your keys are in there and you lock them in, you can unlock it that way. And then we also have the badging for BadLands Sasquatch again. But I think it's pretty nice because the tires have the Bronco emblem. We have the horse. In the front we have Bronco. Then on the back we have the horse, and we have the old Ford logo, and now on the sides only do we have BadLands Sasquatch. Now I am going to show you, which is kind of crazy though, is to the Bronco it says established 1966. You guys can see that. So they wanted to shout out the Bronco, and they wanted to say, hey, you know, since 1966 we've been making this vehicle. So I'm going to put this hood down. I'm going to show you guys the front of the car with the hood down, and then we're going to jump inside. Okay guys, so that is the front of the Bronco with the hood down. Absolutely insane. It does look great. And what I think is crazy too is I think this is actually the package that this comes with, that BadLands Sasquatch, because this up here says sport on it. But what's crazy is the way that they have done this. It was like it was ready to go. And if you see here, accessory ready. So they knew somebody was going to put something up here, maybe a roof rack, something like that. But these lights are separate to the top canopy, if you want to call it that, because you can take the top off, and then you can have a open Ford Bronco, just like the Jeep Wranglers and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Now I'm going to show you guys the interior, because the interior is absolutely insane. And we're going to start on the driver's side. So as you open the door, the windows are self-standing, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of weird to see such a square window stand by itself. I think there would be a lot of issues if you have younger kids trying to get stuff in and out of this. If they hit it, then I'm not sure what to say about that one. But what is insane is on the door here, you have this very beautiful lock and unlock button, which is very tight. It's barely been used, and then you pull back to open the door, which is nice, especially sitting in the back seat. You have this very small arm area back here, and then you have your handle to close or push open with a little net cargo space. But then at the bottom right there, if you guys can see, it says lift. Now, supposedly Ford Broncos, you're able to take the doors off, and here is where you would grab to pick it up and take it away. And the one thing is though, you have to put the window down as much as possible, just so you do not break that fragile glass, which is a good idea. And I think that's really cool that you're able to take the doors off. This reminds me of that Jeep design where you could take them off. And furthermore, to support that fact, they have an actual easy disconnect right here. So this is very simple to disconnect from the electric harness. You just unbolt the door and you pop that off, you're good to go. Now getting into the back, you're gonna see what's in front of you first, so let's do that. You have all this labeling. So you have cargo net here, and then you have this really cool design, which is kind of strange, but this is where mole straps go. Now I don't know what mole straps are, I've never dealt with them, but it says attach mole straps, so you can attach them through there. And then right here, max weight is 7 pounds for up here. Down here, it doesn't have a weight at all. It's just a little cargo net, which is nice to have. You come in with WeatherTech flooring as well. A very beautiful black carpet underneath. Like I said, this has been taken care of so well. So it's very, very nice. As you come in though, as a back passenger, and I apologize for the sniffling, I've had allergies past couple days, you will see a power bay. So you have a Type C, and then you have USB. So if you run Type C, you can put your Type C charger, two-way charger in there, and then your USB to your USB-C, whatever you have. And then you also have auto windows. You just hit that, they'll go down. And then here, you have an amp. So this is a 110 or a 400 watt max. So this is a house outlet inside the car. Maybe you want to cook up some hot dogs down the road. You can plug your microwave in. But I absolutely love the back seats. The stitching is insane. You have this gold orange color just like the outside of the vehicle, and it goes all the way up the seat. Now another nice thing is adjustable headrests. Absolutely awesome. And then even in this small little area for a third passenger back here, you have 2 cup holders. There is not a pass-through. You don't need one for this. I mean, it's easy to get out. The wheelbase is not that long to need a pass-through to the trunk or the cargo space in the back. So that goes up nicely. And then another thing too, you're going to see here, especially if you're in the middle seat, is no step. This is saying, hey, don't step on this, because that top comes off. If you guys can see, right there are some of the handles and things like that that you have to take. So what you do is you just push it this way, and then it'll come undone. It'll pop up, and you can start deassembling the top of this, and then those will come off, and you have a full open area. Now the only problem with that though is there is quite a few pieces. They're supposedly supposed to fit in the back of the Bronco, but if you have stuff back there, that's going to be kind of an issue. Now we're going to go over to the passenger side, and the reason I'm not pausing this, guys, is because I want you to see in real time how crazy it is. In the lighting too, the lighting's so perfect. Especially on this door, it looks way better than that side. And as you come in here, this is the other side, but look at this book. And I'm going to try to get you guys to see as best as possible. This is the Bronco Sport for 2022. He's actually got 2 of them, same design on each, but this is saying just all the stuff that this vehicle has. This is the Badlands, and it's crazy. So you can see that you did have an option for automatic with a either a mode button or a manual button, maybe paddle shifters it looks like, which would be really cool. But I do love the manual transmission. And look at that, same color, which is absolutely insane. And like I said, those lights are very bright, they're very long all the way through. But it's cool that he has the books. You don't see that a lot, especially even with new cars. A lot of people throw them away. So now we're going to get into the passenger driver side, or the passenger side up front. I'm sorry. Electric seats, absolutely insane. Now this seat is heightened up a little bit. It kind of reminds me of a Ford Escape, but they thought of this. If you're a tall guy like me, there's not a lot of room where you want to put your head if it's all the way up, unless you're short and you're fine. But if you're a tall guy, if you go to get into an accident or something with the canopy off, you're going to have some issues. There's going to be some clearance issues. So they thought about this. That seat drops all the way down. It does go all the way forward too, moves beautifully. It does not feel like it's ever had an issue in its life. Now what's really cool about this too is Ford knew people were probably going to take it off-road, maybe get, you know, some height on it and jack it up and stuff like that. So they gave you this really nice glove box, very, very tight. It doesn't feel like it's just going to hit your knees. I apologize, YouTube. As I said before, I am having some allergies, so started having some sneezing fits right there. But Ford thought about this, and they put an old crap bar right here up on the console area. And then they also have one right here by the shifter, which if your hand's really big and your arms all the way across, you might run into hitting that, which you don't want to do. But it's very, very nice that this is honestly a manual transmission. I can't believe that, and you guys may not believe me, but look at that. That's insane. Now, I also did learn something, because this says reverse C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But this is a 7-speed because this is coast or crawl. So essentially this is your first gear, but it's like a half gear. So technically this is a 7-speed manual transmission, but you have R, and then you have C, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So while driving, I would probably start out in first gear or second, but that's fine, especially if you're an experienced manual owner and driver, then you'll be absolutely okay. Now, another cool thing is it says designed and engineered by Ford in Dearborn, Michigan. So this was built at the Michigan assembly plant. You can see the little plaque there, which is very, very nice. Underneath you have the wireless phone charging system, and then you have dual cup holders right there, which that gives enough space between the shifter and the cup holder so you can shift and have a 40-ounce drink right there on hand. I apologize for the sniffling again. Allergies are bad here in Ohio. Now, another cool thing is you have all your buttons here. So they expect someone to kind of be lounging while driving and be able to hit the buttons. So you just hit them like that. They come down. You have your lock and unlock for the buttons as well, in case you have children in the back. And then you have your mirror right here, left and right. And then what's really cool is you pop that open and you have this little area where you can put stuff in there and stuff like that. You got a pen holder up here, and then there's something right there as well. I don't know what that's for. We're going to leave that alone. But it looks like an area where you can lock and unlock that area so nobody gets in. Now, on the passenger door, we have lock and unlock for the door itself. And you can also manually do it right here. So electric and manual, not bad. They come back to you as well, just like the back ones. And then you're able to grab it, close it, open it, whatever, with the beautiful cargo netting space right there. Now, going over to the passenger or the driver's side, I'm going to show you guys that, because that is probably the best place to be. Now, as we come to the driver's side, you can see you have your code pad right here, like I said. So if you lock yourself out, all the doors except the back doors have that possibility to hit the lock button on them, so the whole car locks up. On the driver's side, you have lock and unlock for electric locks, and then you also can do it manually. And that also opens back when you go to open the door. You have that cargo netting right here as well, which I really like the bolts. Can we talk about that for a second? Because I think it's like a brand new car, but it has an industrial feel. You have like these hex bolts in there, which are really, really nice. And then as you step into the driver's side, there's so many options that you have. It's a little small for a guy like me, but the seat's not even all the way back. So we're gonna go all the way back and drop it all the way down and see how that looks. Make sure the front is all the way down, front's all the way down, seat's all the way down. We're good to go. So being 6'5.5", I honestly think you have a chance to fit in this. And look at that, 3 pedals. So if you guys don't know what a manual transmission is, you do all the work of transferring from one to another gear. So this is your clutch, which you press down and then you shift. So if I'm in first gear, I press my clutch down and I go into second. And as I let off of the clutch, I put my foot on my gas, which that's how you kind of work a manual transmission. I'm about to get another one soon, so I might teach you guys how to drive one. But you have 3 pedals, clutch, brake, and gas, which are evenly spaced out, which is very good, because even a guy that wears size 20 shoes, that would work out perfectly. You also have your trunk pull here, and then you have your parking. You can pull that on, and then up there you can push it off. You have your mirror lights as well up here, and then as well you have to increase your lights for the gauges, and then you have auto and all your other standard light options. Now, another thing is too, you have a grab bar on here. I think this is more of like get in the car kind of thing for the driver's side. I don't think you're gonna grab that while driving. So, you know, that's not too bad to have there though, especially if you're an older gentleman that likes these vehicles, especially in 60s or 70s, that would help out a lot. Now, this is a telescopic steering wheel, which is very nice, and we're going to put it all the way back so I can get in here. He even left the mat in here so we can sit in this and show you guys. So I'm going to step in and show you guys all the features. So this is kind of this way because this is how he turned in, and I don't want to move the vehicle. I do know how to drive manual transmission, but this is not mine, and I do not want to drive such a brand new car. So the steering wheel has that Bronco horse on here, and then you have your phone settings, your talk to car situation, or if you need to tell it to do something, stuff like that. You have your OK over here, skip, reverse, return, and your menu option up and down for volume probably. And then you also have volume up and down here. And then you can also have that what is the sensor called? I apologize. When people are next to you in a lane, it senses the car. I don't know what this one's for. I've never seen that before on a car. I'll have to study up on that. I think this is cruise, and then, or maybe this is cruise, because you have your set and plus and set negative to go up and down with how fast you're going. Another thing is, this is a push engine, so you just hit engine start stop right there. You have a 12 volt right here as well, up here, which is absolutely cool. Actually, oh, look at that, it's not a 12 volt. So this is a C charger and a USB. Now I know some of the Broncos actually come up here, they come with a 12 volt area, but this one doesn't have it. And then right here you have for a GoPro, which is insane. And I don't think a lot of people know this about the Bronco. You can put a GoPro right there and it screws in. This has a really amazing sound system. But what's crazy is, they want people to go do crazy stuff with it. I mean, even the front little pieces over here, you could probably mount 2 cameras or something like that. If you're doing vlogs, this would be absolutely perfect. If you're a successful entrepreneur or something, you want to do videos while driving to work, you have a place to mount. Now, I will say, though, the windscreen or windshield, whichever you want to call it, is actually quite small. I mean, my hand, just from this point of view here, is about the length of the windshield, which is longer than that. But from where you're sitting in the driver's side, you have this very big mirror. And me being so tall, I mean, this would be my view. So if I'm driving the Bronco, I'm not really seeing much of traffic on my right-hand side. But that's okay, because this car is insane. I mean, it is a very beautiful car to be had. So maybe that's something that you could put up with. Now, another thing is, you have dome lights up here, and you have some other options. It looks like a door light or something like that. You have your domes right here, which are LEDs. They also have a secondary screen over them, which is nice. You're not going to get burnt. You have all your lights up here. So passenger airbag off, on, and if nobody's in the seat at all. You also have the garage opener up here. And then, surprisingly, hello guys, how you guys doing? You get lights for the mirror, so you're able to look at yourself going through traffic. And if you guys see, I look horrible. Allergies really are kicking my butt today. Same thing for the passenger. Open this up and they get lights as well, which is really nice, because a lot of cars for several years, they don't give everybody the lights. Now, another crazy thing is, too, you have all these switches. These are your aux 1 through 6, and these are probably for the lights more than anything, but I think you can custom set what these are. I think it's weird, though, that they didn't actually put labels on them. It's just aux 1 to aux 6, and you kind of got to play with them and see what's what. But it's still cool that there are switches up here, and it kind of makes you feel like a pilot in an airplane, which is just insane to see that a car like this would have that. Now, down here, before our time runs out, you have all your options, your video options for the way that the camera shows the vehicle. Auto stop and start right here, so if you're at a light, sometimes it'll shut down for a second and then restart. You can turn that off. Your parking sensor, backward, forward, pause and play, volume and tune, and this is tactile. I mean, the feedback is absolutely amazing. Same thing with the heat and everything like that. Very beautiful, just craftsmanship in the way that feels. And what's crazy too is the fan is a switch again, so you can feel like a pilot when you drive. Go up and down, if you guys can hear that. Heated seats, heating steering wheel. You have auto for the air conditioning or heat, which is very, very nice, because some cars, they don't put it in there if they want to save weight. Now, another cool thing too is right here, instead of a 12 volt, you have a type C and a USB port again. And then here you have your 2 high, your 4 low, your 4 high, and then your 4 all-wheel. And then you can also stick this into cruise or whatever like that. And this is called GOAT modes. So greatest of all time modes, which is really, really cool. I think a lot of people would agree with that statement.